Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Neil Haley Show. You can check me out on Twitter, @TotalTutor, @TotalRadioNet, and also you can go to neilhaley.com, all these different places. I continue. Great guests. We always do the in-studio first of the weeks of another season. I just throw Dave more curveballs. I want to do this the whole summer.
Yes.
So that means that I do more episodes. That means we're on more nights here on Bethel Park and also nationally syndicated all over the world and TV all over the world. So just keep going. But I want to welcome the program, my host, Coach Karen Hall,
Yes.
WPL Hall of Famer, ESPN analyst, and WPL Hall of Famer and UNLV running rep.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm good, Neil. You know, I love the studio. I like the radio, but I love the studio.
Everyone loves television.
Yeah.
It's an art form, and that's what I was
It
telling
is.
Dave. I said, this thing here, this is my new phone, you could shoot video anywhere.
Yeah.
You just got to get someone to hold it. I've done a couple of things for Jason Matthews professionally with that because I'm doing professional video. An iPhone, can you believe it? But that's how...
That's where we moved to.
That's where technology goes. But our guest, another interesting one, right?
Yeah, you know, today we have Margo Hinton with us, and Margo is a former collegiate player for the Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
That's right. Get it right.
That's right. I get it right.
Don't mix it up with the other one.
She's been blowing the whistle for quite a number of years now, but
Wow.
she has another job, but we're going to jump right into it. So, Margo, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Karen. And the first thing I want to say is I'm honored to be here with Karen Hall, Mount Alvernia star, UNLV star, entrepreneur, coach, athletic director, writer, television producer, and there's probably 50 other things that I missed. So this is my honor to be here
Well,
with
no,
you guys.
we're honored to have you. So it's just good to have you on our
Thanks.
show. But let's talk about you today, okay? So I know basketball is what you've been bouncing for your whole life. How does that happen? Where did that start from?
Okay, that's...
You don't have to go back to like 4 years old or anything.
I
like
am.
that.
I'm going back to 4.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going back to 4.
Go ahead.
So basically, I lived in a house with my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt. And my aunt got this boyfriend that happened to play at Pitt.
Wow.
University of Pittsburgh. I'm going to leave his name out of it.
Okay.
As a journalist, I was going to inquire on that.
Yeah.
Maybe if you guys are good, I'll tell you who. it was.
Okay.
But anyway, so I was 4 or 5 years old, and we start going to the
Wow.
games and running around the track around the field house and bouncing the ball with all the other kids. And he got me a basketball, and that's sort of how I started. But my cousin, Lance, he's the one who really got me to pick up the ball and start spinning it on my finger, you know, when you're little. So that's sort of how I got started in basketball.
Okay, so then move us from that point and then take us to high school. When did you start varsity? Were you into the game at that time?
Yeah, 9th grade, started varsity at South Hills High School up in Mount Washington, which was one of the first Pittsburgh public schools to close. It actually closed, and this is because I left.
Yeah.
It closed in '86, and I graduated in '85.
Wow.
So yeah, I started 9th grade and played for Coach Cookie, and I had a blast.
What about academics? We always want to hear from that student athlete side as a prepster, because from prepster on, the academics have to have been somewhat solidified to even being considered to move forward.
Exactly. Well, I would say I've always loved school. From the time my mother, taught me was the Jack and Jill books. I loved school, like forever. And so I was an honor roll student. I think I graduated 34 in my class.
Wow.
The year that I graduated, I focused on business. Actually, my major was going to be business for the first semester at IUP. And then one day I woke up and said, you know what, I don't really like to dress up. As you guys can see, I really don't like to dress up. And I started asking around my fellow teammates, what's your major, what's your major? And somebody said health and phys ed. I was like, well, that makes sense. I love children and I like sports.
Okay.
What else do you do?
Right.
So that's sort of how I got in the health and phys ed.
So was the household strong on academics? Was it embedded in the house that this is what you need to work on first?
Oh, definitely. And I just remember in school, like the counselors at that point would try to steer you to different ways. And in my family, like college that's what you're doing.
Okay.
So yes, my mother was, and she really didn't have to push me. Like I said, I love school. I love raising my hand. Actually, that got me in trouble a little bit in class. I won't tell that story. But yeah, I got in trouble a little bit for being a little bit too active, but loved education. Still do.
Interesting. Now let's go to where I'm going. She goes to the different educations things and stuff like that. Did you think you were going to be a pretty good basketball player? Did you, especially in high school, that you're going to play college and stuff?
Yeah, I'm a 100%er. I like to think that, and that's what I encourage my students to be, is 100%ers. And so from the time I picked up the basketball, I'm sort of like OCD with practice. So from that moment, I came up with my own practice routine as like a 5-year-old. I had my own practice routine. And so by the time I got into middle school and high school, I felt like I was pretty good. I felt good about myself.
That's great.
So during the summertime, because during that era, basketball was a year-round sport. It wasn't just seasonal. So talk about the summer leagues and how that helped you.
The summer league, I got 2 names, and you already know this. Rufus Brown, that was my summer league coach. Played for the Rockettes. We played at Turtle Creek, and then we played Ozanam. And we had a blast there. And Carl Coleman, was in charge of Ozanam back in the day, and so those are my 2 sort of mentors for basketball. And we just had a blast. I mean, I don't want to name drop, but we played against the great Karen Hall. Let me see some other players. Dion Morris, blast from the past. Stacy Williams, these are Westinghouse players. Mary Vaughn, Joyce Beavers. Wow, there was just so many. Joy Jeter,
City League champions in the Ozanam Girls Basketball League. You had WPIL, state champions. And you are undermining your talent, because I've seen Margo. I mean, we've kind of seen her. So as she sits here and she's doing a great job, talk about your play, because you like to in and out, behind the back. Give it to us.
So let's see, modern day. My favorite.
And how that helped you even hone those skills in the summer league.
Okay. So what I tell my players now, because I coach a little 7th grade team at North Allegheny School District, what I tell my players is watch basketball. So I watched players, and I was a good thief in terms of I would steal moves.
Okay.
So if I saw somebody do like a fancy crossover, I would do that in my next game. I would practice it, and then I would put it into my game. So I watched Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, all those different players back in the day. Magic Johnson. I know it's Karen's.
Yeah, that's my guy.
So do you think who's better, Isaiah or Steph Curry? See, that's a hard question to say, because, we don't see this kind of play, because you've never seen someone shoot the ball like Steph. But however, Isaiah was in a different time where defense was different. They beat the heck out of somebody, and Isaiah just kept going.
And as you can see in the playoffs right now, defense matters.
Yes.
When Cleveland turned on the defense,
I know.
Guess what?
That's right.
It's a whole other series right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, I would say, Well,
Steph
is definitely a better shooter.
Yes.
Steph plays more like my game. I like a fancy game, as Karen was alluding to. I'm more of a behind the back, between the leg pass, over the shoulder.
Yeah, absolutely.
That kind of craziness. That was my game. But also, the best thing I think I did on the court was I was a good thief. I could steal the ball.
Okay.
So I could strip you, and you would still be back at half court, and I would probably be scored. So that was my main thing on defense. So I love Steph Curry's game, but I would say for the all-around game, you got to go to Isaiah.
Well, his defense. I mean, the thing is, Isaiah could defend anyone, from Jordan to anyone, and you put him out there. But again, the game's different. But I think that Cleveland's trying to bring back the Detroit bad boys type of thing, and then they have some athletes. So I'm interested in Game 7. I heard someone saying Steph might be suspended for 7 for throwing the. That's not
Facebook. They're not going to do
that.
No.
No. So
I'm talking to you, NBA.
No, for him throwing it into the fan.
Yeah.
It's saying it's.
Is it really?
Yeah.
He did hit a fan with his
Now
mouth.
that's social media wise saying, but also I've heard. But we'll see.
I don't think that would be unprecedented.
For
I don't think they could do that.
He will
yeah,
not
but
be fined.
you get thrown out of the game. I thought there's a rule, isn't there?
I don't think that's
Oh,
the
you
rule.
have
You
to
have
check
to accumulate so many technical
Exactly.
fouls.
Like
but he got
Green.
thrown out. They threw him out.
First time in his career.
Yeah.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, but I don't know what the rules is. We'll see.
And she's an official, so we can get to
Yeah,
that.
that's a perfect segue. So you got coaches.
Exactly.
We started talking sports after Gianmarco, and I'm like, oh, come on now.
Yeah.
So let me go right to the question of now playing in college. What did you gain from the game to help you in coaching? Playing college.
Okay, so playing in college, like I said, I like the little fancy game. And you mean in coaching or refereeing?
Coaching, I want to get the refereeing. We're going to try the second segment to all be refereeing because we've had so many players and not referees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I've had to always my fun.
So the biggest thing I learned refereeing that helps me when I'm coaching is this. If you're yelling at the referee, okay, and you want the referee to call or make or not call something, you're distracting them, at least me, for my purposes. You're distracting them for what you actually want them to do. So if you wait to an appropriate time, when it's calm, nothing's going on, you'll get your call, and you won't distract the referee.
So relational. So coaches, develop the relationship with your officials.
Actually, I referee lacrosse and basketball. So I actually said to I think it was a lacrosse official this season, I said, hey, I don't know you that well for you to yell at me this much. Like, let's get a relationship first, and then I can sort of handle it. But the first thing you do is yell at me. I can't relate. I'm like tuning you out because
lacrosse player or the ref?
This was a coach. I was referee, and I said this to a coach. I said, we haven't built that relationship yet. Let us build our relationship.
Isn't it amazing how they think they want to? It's what they've watched some of these coaches, and they think, oh, I watched on the major people and how they work the officials, so I think I can just come in for my one time. Coaching and decided to become a coach, and just, hey, they need someone to sign up, but I became the coach, and then I watched these coaches screaming like Bobby Knight working the officials or some of the other people, and that doesn't work. And unless you're just truly have a relationship with that ref, that's a good point.
Build a
relationship. And so the only other referee I interviewed, and I can't remember, he was the one, and you probably do because you probably follow referees, former NBA referee that became an informant for the FBI. And then he went on and wrote a book after that. And I have to look.
I'm not
sure
who that is.
Look, I'll have to look that up in my 100 different interviews on Facebook. But that's the only other one. So
I got to name drop some referees before we go on.
Okay, let's talk about name drop.
Joey Crawford, my favorite NBA ref. My favorite ref, this person that Karen Hall knows, is Pam Miller. She refereed my games, and I want to say she coached at West Allegheny. I want to say it was West Allegheny High School. Excuse me if I'm wrong, Pam. I apologize. And she actually refereed a national championship, actually more than one. So that's my favorite all-time ref. I wanted to put her in.
How did you get it bounce? Nice. How did you bounce into officiating? How did you go from like what happened?
Okay, so I remember Pam and other referees when I played saying, hey, you should become a referee. And I was like, no. Absolutely not. I play basketball. I would never referee basketball. Okay. And then another person, Jennifer Bruce.
Right.
We were coaching at Penn Hills High School. I was her assistant coach. And we weren't having a great season. This was years ago. And she was like, hey, maybe we should think about refereeing. Because this is not necessarily working out for us. So I took her seriously. I went out and took the test, and she continued to coach basketball. She went on to Gateway High School to coach her daughter, which I don't blame her for that. But that's sort of how it started.
Never knew that.
But before that, there were other referees that would say, hey, you should referee. And I would just blow it off.
So when we get back, we're going to find out, do you consider yourself a referee if out of all the things in basketball, even though you're an assistant coach, you coach middle school,
I'm a player. I'm a player
first. Okay.
I'm a player.
Well, Coach wants to know about the refereeing. So when we get back, you're watching the Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.
And for those of you in Bethel Park that don't know me, I am Mr. Bold, one of the many stars here at Bethel Park TV, Channel 7. I hope that the folks in Bethel Park understand what we have here in the way of BPTV, the asset that the television station, the public television station, is to the community of Bethel Park. For Mr. Bold personally, one of the things that I would like to do, and I've talked to Dave about this, is a show gearing itself towards veterans. And I would throw out an invitation to the veterans in our audience here in Bethel Park or around the South Hills. If you want to contact Dave Cable here at the station and let them know that you would be willing to share your experiences, especially the World War II veterans who are losing here at an alarming rate, and pretty soon there's not going to be many of them left. I would love to get them on TV if they would be willing and interview them.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show. You can check me out on Twitter at TotalTutor and NeilHaley.com. I hope finally the website's up by the time this airs. I'm in that final process. Summer is when I can gear in, but I'm exhausted after this long day. Started the day interviewing radio live at 8:50. Now it's 12:37, and I'll be finished at 2 o'clock today with a half-hour lunch. Didn't really know if I planned that out or not. So, Coach, we're talking.
Yes.
We're having a blast talking to you. So let's go right into right now refereeing, so you consider yourself a player. But you've reffed in the WPL for how long?
I started in 2002,
Right.
June of 2002. So I guess, what is this, my
Anniversary.
14th,
Yeah.
my little anniversary. And I've been loving it. I love it. I ref in Quabo, Quad A basketball officials.
What's
done
Quabo for our viewers?
Yeah, Quad A basketball officials. Mr. Jim Julian is in charge of that, and he's sort of the supervisor of officials.
Men's or women's?
I do all girls basketball
All girls.
at the high school level, and I also am a part of the Pittsburgh chapter of women's basketball officials. That was my main chapter. They're the ones who got me started in officiating, and I definitely want to throw a shout out to them.
Mm-hmm. So you do college also?
I do college.
What conference?
I'm in the PSAC, which is the IUP conference.
Okay.
Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Also,
So how do you coordinate the schedules?
Oh, it's crazy. I go from teaching, and sometimes I don't get home till maybe 11, midnight during the season. And I do lacrosse as well. And I referee high school and collegiate
they're
lacrosse.
Different college, collegiate lacrosse or
Both.
basketball?
I do high school and collegiate basketball and lacrosse.
How do they coordinate the schedule? They coordinate it for you, or you coordinate all this stuff?
Well, there's a little thing called Arbiter. And Arbiter is a scheduling website where the coaches can go and see who the referees are and how they're scheduled, as well as all the officials get their assignments on this scheduling website. And so it's sort of like interactive between coaches, athletic directors, as well as the officials.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so technology.
So you think
It's a
college
beautiful
would
thing.
have? You think college would have first dibs? But so a lot of
It
people
does.
transit. Oh, it does.
It does. College is first dibs. Matter of fact, this past season was the first year that I had more college games than I had high school. Last year I only refereed, I want to say, 10 high school games, and I had approximately 35 collegiate basketball games.
So the more experience you get, the more games you get in the higher level.
Exactly.
And Margo did officiate one of my games at CCAC.
I did.
So
More
I
than
had-
one.
I-
She was good to me.
Yeah.
She was good to me.
We have the relationship. So I just talked with her though. I just really talked to my team. My team was responsible for putting the ball in the hoop and not turning it over, not the
Wait, now I got a question for you.
No, I'm the interviewer.
I got just one question.
Go ahead.
So when I referee Jen Bruce's games, she would always be like, "Oh, I can't yell at the official tonight because we're friends."
Sure.
So did you have that in you, or your coaching was the same no matter who the official was?
No, my coaching was the same because my philosophy was that my team was responsible for our outcome, not our officials.
I love it. I love it.
That was my
Okay.
philosophy.
That's good.
Okay, so let's get me back.
You're back. You're in charge again.
Yeah. So the officiating, how do you feel that you influence the sport and those young adults as an official?
Wow, that's great. I love that question because it's harder at the collegiate level to have the same impact I do at the grade school, in the middle school, and the high school level, because you're able to interact with the players a little bit more. There's a higher expectation in terms of professionalism and keeping that distance at the collegiate level. But at the high school and at the middle school and the grade school level, Catholic grade school level, I'll stop the game. I'm one of those refs that if I feel like the game is being disrespected either by the fans or the players or anything that's going on, I've been known to bring the game to a halt.
Okay.
And so what I feel like I'm doing is teaching the girls to have the same level of respect for the game as I do.
Yes.
To take care of the game.
Yes.
So, yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm able to, sometimes after a game, a middle school game, I'll go and work with the players on the side. And I'll say, hey, I noticed this about your shot. And I'll ask their coach, do you mind if I actually show them a little bit on their shot? So I love it that way. Just teaching sportsmanship. I just stopped the game the other day, matter of fact. A girl rolled the ball.
Summer league.
Yeah, summer league at McKeesport. Girl rolled the ball across the court. And I was like, okay, go get it. She thought I was going to go get it. I said, no, you go get it. So she went and got it and then rolled it back at my feet again. I was like, wait, no, hon. We're here to teach respect. So then she picked it up and brought it to me and handed it to me. And I was like, that's what you probably should have did in the
Life
first place.
lessons
Exactly.
in the game of sport.
Exactly. So I love it.
Good. So you're able to go from, at one point, you're blowing the whistle. And then after the game, you can put your coach's hat back on because you begin to teach for those few minutes whatever part of that game that you need to teach that young girl about the game. So that to me epitomizes a passion for the sport, for the love of basketball, to where you're doing your job as an official, but then keeping in mind, former player, I'm a coach.
Yes.
And then you pull this kid over and have that kind of impact.
Yeah, because I can go from player, because I was last year the oldest player still playing in the Market House Summer League. Karen knows all about the Market House.
From there?
Well, this is what I do. I'll go the first couple games of the league.
Okay, before you say that, explain the Market House.
Okay, the Market House Summer League is an NCAA-sanctioned summer league that's been going on since before I probably even started playing basketball. And college players as well as high school players, the highest level of play takes place. You have Pitt, Duquesne, Robert Morris, all local players playing. And it's awesome. So last year, one of teams asked me to play because they needed a couple extra people. And I went down there and played. Yeah, so I'm the oldest player, 48 years old, still getting it done.
Nice.
Yeah, so
there you go.
Yeah, I sort of I can go from player, go to coach, and then slip into referee. Yeah. So my whole life, really, like you said, it's a passion. It's a passion for basketball.
And then you teach professionally.
Yes, that's right.
In elementary,
middle school, 6th through 8th grade.
And so how do you bring all that about you to your classroom?
Wow. Well, the kids all know Coach loves sports. And really, for me in teaching, it's all about, like I said, with the teaching a girl a lesson on respect, it's all about life lessons. I believe education is a means to an end. It's not an end in itself. So it's lifelong education. Everything that you do in the classroom, in playing basketball, in this interview, everything that you do is a lesson. And if you can pull something out of that, if I can, to share with the students that's going to help them better succeed in their life, that's what I attempt to do. So everything's a lesson. Educationally, I run something called Kick Butts Day. It's an annual assembly. This is probably the 10th year that we've done it. It's an anti-tobacco assembly, just getting the kids to be tobacco-free. We do a benefit run, which teaches kids to give back. We've raised over $100,000 for local charities over the past 22 years, I believe it's been. So everything that I do, I sort of try to give back and make it a lesson for not just myself, but for other people.
Interesting, all the different things you do, and what would you consider yourself? You brought all Karen's 150 things she does. We don't even want to talk about me because I am a personal assistant too. That's how much I need that. Yeah. It's just, how do you keep all that together? So you have the coaching. How do you coach still? You ref, you teach.
Now
summer, you're involved again, back to your stomping grounds again. Why now?
Okay, so this is going to be funny because you started to say, what do I consider myself the most? And really, I consider myself a writer. Like, I write.
Good.
That's like my main...
When are you writing your book?
Well, I got several different things out there. As my one friend would like to say, is I do a lot of stuff, but I fail to complete these projects. I'm one of those ideas, 50 projects kind of people.
What kind of book do you want to write?
I have a children's book that I've actually written. Hasn't been published. I have a children's book.
Why don't you talk to Dee Dee about that? Did you know about Grady's wears glasses?
I did. I haven't seen the book yet.
She got it to. She's at the PGA, and she ended up giving it to the #1 player in the world. Who's the #1 player in the world? I don't know.
Jason Day, is that his name?
Yeah, she got a picture and gave it to him, right? And it's on Facebook.
Oh, that's awesome.
So she can do it. You should.
Huh? There you go.
She's right next to her. She needs to utilize her.
I do write for Referee Magazine, though. Okay. So I got some stuff out there. Not a book, though. We'll work on it.
What do you want to write? It's a children's book, and what else? You think
a
memoir too?
No, I write like sort of on political issues, on athletic issues.
Okay. So you write about that, but so you're writing, but you want to write another children's book's your passion, right? You want to.
I have the children's book's done,
but it's not published.
It's not published. It's done.
So you have to complete it.
Complete it.
Yes, I have to go on with the process.
Gotta get
Is there any other books you have an idea to write?
Well, I did start a book a long time ago. I have the outline and not the meat of it, but I get the bones of it. Called Basketball: A Metaphor for Life, and it really takes. It's a journey from how I got started in basketball through using basketball terminology to describe things that go on in your life.
So get it done.
Yeah.
I know, get it done. I know. So they're inspiring me right now. They're inspiring me right now.
Get it done.
You got time on the clock.
Get it done just to have it say it. And exactly, if you don't have it finished, just start talking when you're driving the car with the one of those audio memo things, and then
use them all the time.
Get it out. It's so important because we're always in the car. I'm always in the car owning a tutoring consulting company. I'm always going for a tutoring appointment, then setting up the next deal. Okay, what are we going to tweet? So I can't tweet while driving. That's why I'm an assistant. But I tweet, but you don't tweet as much as...
I tweet also.
Do you know? You started to?
Yeah.
When'd you do one?
Oh, I tweet through you.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny. Something happened the other day because I'm like sort of, I don't want to say I'm anti-social media, but I am for a balanced social media because I can't take when the kids or you're out with somebody and they're they can't stop looking at their phone. So I'm anti in that way, but I love the idea of being able to communicate with people and get information.
Yes.
But something happened. They said so-and-so tweeted something. I was like, I might have to start because I love that person.
Okay.
But I've never tweeted before.
There you go. I was talking about a tweet.
Never sent a tweet.
You were bringing up Steph Curry's wife tweeted last night.
About the official?
And then attacking the official saying this game's rigged and deleted the tweet after 25,000 retweets and favorites. That was on social media. Yeah. So Twitter's an interesting ball game. I get these other clients that are semi-celebrity, and they literally, when they tweet, I said, "Wow, God, it's going to come out. It's going to go crazy." So no, they did. He went and did that. She went and did that.
Yes, she did.
Yes. So acting like it's set up for LeBron and Cleveland to finally win, which I want Cleveland to win. Even though I'm a Cavs fan, and I want them to win it all. And they're going to win Game 7.
Well, they play defense the way they've been playing the last 2 games. They will.
I'm a referee, so I can probably speak to that. I watched the game, and what people fail to realize is that those players are fast. They're quick, and everything happens like this.
Right.
So it's a split second that you have to make a decision, and it's not rigged.
Exactly.
It's not rigged.
No.
You might have got a bad call.
Rigged.
They might have missed a call.
Football's rigged, right? No.
But it's never deliberate or intentional.
No.
It's just that's what happens.
Exactly.
That's just what happens.
To say that. Okay.
And they're human.
So
exactly.
So what I'm saying is I feel that Steph Curry has short. Look at some of these great players that they wear down the size to play so many years.
Yep.
So watch, LeBron is in such unbelievable shape, and the guy is going to keep playing. No one gives him the respect he needs because he has the numbers Larry Bird had. Well, no. The bottom line is he goes on a team. He makes that team a championship contender. I'd like to see Cleveland win. I think they're going to. And the difference is that people forgot when they picked that series is who didn't play last year? Kyrie didn't play.
Right, exactly.
And
you have Delva instead. So
I love LeBron. I have to say that too. I love LeBron. I feel like he's great. Just as a role model, and a leader.
Yes.
But Steph is too. I'm really disappointed with Steph did last night.
I love Steph too. But I want LeBron to win so I can stop rooting for Cleveland and move on. I just want him to win for Cleveland so they can be happy.
And go somewhere else, right?
And then I'll move on back to Derrick Rose, my actual favorite player right now.
Okay. All right. So there's nothing we can find information on you for. So it's basically just check her out, Google her, see what's going on with you. There's no websites or anything to your books out, right? You'll be the first up. All right. Well, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, Coach.
Thanks.
All right.
Coach Hall.
All right. That was the Neil Haley Show. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next week.